What's up, everyone? This is the Rookies Podcast first ever episode. Uh, we just want to welcome you. I'm Andre Leal. On the other side of the mic here, we got Nico. Nico, you want to say hello?
I'm Nico DeChantis. It's been a long time coming. I'm glad that we can get this first episode out.
No doubt. So, me and Nico are two students in a journalism program, second year journalists, and we shared our similar interest over sports, and we have all these opinions, and it's just the two of us listening to each other. But now with starting up this podcast, we can have a whole bunch of people talk about it. We can even bring people on the show to talk about it with us. Uh, we're very excited to get started. I hope you guys will enjoy this episode and many more to come after that. But yeah, welcome to the first episode. We got an exciting one today. Obviously, the World Cup starting in from this time of the episode recording in 1 week. Excited for that. At the end of this episode, we'll get through World Cup predictions and everything to do with the World Cup, so stay tuned for that. To start off the show, Nico, you want to tell them what we're starting off with?
Okay, so as many have probably heard, the breaking news that came out today, Ronaldo was on it recently on an interview, and he pretty much just went off on United and the whole system that's been around him ever since he moved from Juve. And he's just been going off and has been making all type of headlines. So yeah, that's gonna be our main topic to start off with.
Yeah, absolutely. He sat down with Piers Morgan. He's done an interview with him before, like a few years back. I think he was still on Juventus at that time, and he is very honest when he does interviews with him. But yeah, he's said so much. He's called out the manager. He's called out even some teammates. I don't think he name dropped any teammates, but um,
Yeah, I don't think I heard him name drop any teammates, but he definitely name dropped his last manager.
yeah,
Ralph Ragnick was definitely name dropped. Well, he didn't name drop him. Actually, no, sorry, he did. He did.
yeah, I'm
He
pretty
name
sure he did
dropped him.
too.
He said he came in and he didn't really like know what he was doing, and he said that you can't have people coming in that aren't managers and expect them to manage a team like Man United. So yeah, he definitely feels a certain way about Ralph Ragnick.
Yeah. I'm looking through Fabrizio Romano's Twitter, best journalist in the business, but I can read off
Mm.
a couple quotes that maybe he said. Should I do that?
Yeah, for sure.
So the biggest quote that like it seems to start off this whole topic is Ronaldo saying, "Manchester United have betrayed me. I've been made black sheep. I don't respect Eric Ten Hag."
Hmm. Yeah, that's
Um,
another manager that he name dropped. So he's clearly not getting along with his managers as of late.
Yeah,
Um,
I feel like a lot of people were able to see that, and not like even without this interview, you kind of see, not behind the scenes, but you can kind of see like the disagreement on the sidelines or how Ronaldo's regularly not picked uh
mhm.
when he refuses to come on as a sub. It's just like I feel like it's a
Yeah.
very toxic environment for those United players and the
Mhm.
management. So I guess it's not that much of a surprise. Another quote here on Ten Hag. I don't have respect for Eric Ten Hag because he doesn't show respect to me. If you don't have
And
respect for me, I will never have any for you. Which is a fair point.
and that's pretty ironic
Yeah.
though, because like as of late, you've seen Ten Hag not wanting to sub Ronaldo on, and then after the games, he claims that he does it out of respect because like if they're losing, he doesn't want to put on a champion for no reason, like just
Mm-hmm.
to harm his image.
Yeah.
And then so you see him saying that he's doing it because he respects him, and then Ronaldo claims that he has no respect for him. So it's just a whole lack of communication. It's a mess.
Yeah. It's not looking good. What you said about Ralph Ragnick, he said, if you're not even a coach, how are you going to be the boss of Man United? I've never even heard of him.
That's pretty harsh though, because I've seen what Ragnick did with Leipzig.
Mm-hmm.
He really brought Leipzig into the top tier of German football in recent years. And also, I'm not sure. I think he used to work also in Russia. I'm not exactly sure which team,
Mm-hmm.
but he also did pretty good in Russia. And yeah, he made a name for himself mostly at Leipzig.
Yeah.
He's known for managing young teams and discovering young players. He discovered Werner, which was great when he was on Leipzig. And yeah, like I don't know, it's kind of harsh in my opinion. I just think he was given a lot of responsibility, like just going to United and being in charge of everything.
Yeah.
But that's also what he asked for, so
Mm-hmm.
it's on him at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah,
I'll say a couple more. One is about when Sir Alex convinced him not to join City. Do you remember that before he went to Man United? It was like he was like linked to
yeah,
City almost. Uh,
yeah.
but the big one here, Man United tried to force me out. Not only the manager, but also the other guys who are around the club. So maybe teammates. I'm not sure. I felt betrayed. I feel that some people didn't want me at Manchester United, not only this year but last season too.
Hmm. Yeah. Pretty harsh, pretty
Yeah,
harsh.
and
I
then
think this definitely it means that he's probably going to be leaving pretty soon.
yeah, after you say those things about the club you're on, like that,
Very
we
soon.
probably won't see him ever again, will we, Nico, on United?
No, I honestly I think first day of January you're gonna be seeing him leaving. Maybe not first day, but definitely first week. He's gonna be linked for the whole World Cup. Maybe not during the World Cup, but like right after the World Cup, you're gonna be seeing links to like several teams, and I think it's gonna be much different than in the summer where they were still unsure if he would go or not. I think now like he's probably gonna be happy with the even like I wouldn't say like a small team, but like not like a Real Madrid
Yeah.
or a Bayern, but I think he'll even be happy with like a Roma, for example.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Yeah.
Uh, do you think this will affect his World Cup?
It's hard to say because honestly, passion drives players
Mm-hmm.
more than anything. And I think after seeing what Ronaldo did in the 2016 Euros and how like his passion literally carried Portugal to winning the Euros, even though he wasn't even playing in the final.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think he's still gonna do good. I think he's still gonna help Portugal, maybe not to win it, but definitely to go pretty far in the tournament.
Okay.
Plus, you got the likes of Leao. I think their attack is pretty good this year. I think they can do good. I think Ronaldo's still gonna do good.
That's good. Uh, anything else on that topic? I think we did a good background check on that one.
Yeah, I think we're good. Honestly, we covered pretty much everything there
Yeah.
is to know. It's really breaking news, so
Yeah.
there isn't like, much on it other than the interview, and everybody's just been kind of reposting the same stuff. So
Mhm.
we'll hear more about it over the next few weeks for sure.
Absolutely. We move on to our next topic. Pretty much, we can confirm. Is all the club football finished before the World Cup as of right now?
Let me just check that for you, but I'm pretty sure all the big games have been done. I know Serie A is done. I know, yeah, no, everything is done. That's it.
Okay.
Yep, I just checked right now. Every single thing is done. The World Cup is starting very soon, next week,
Yeah.
and yeah, so we won't be seeing any more club football for another few months, which is sad, but also exciting because we get to see a big tournament.
That's right. So with all club football done for the remainder of the year, um, I think it's a good opportunity for us to summarize where everything is at with the top five leagues. I guess we can start with the Prem, Nico. What do you think?
Yeah, I think we could start with the Prem. We'll make our way down.
All right. So
Yep.
I guess the biggest story so far is how Arsenal are able to maintain that top position pretty much since the season started. They've just been so dominant. Their only loss was to Liverpool. Ironically, Liverpool currently sit in sixth. They climbed up a bit, but their
Yeah.
only loss to Liverpool. Man City are 5 points below them with both playing 14 games. What do you make of the Prem so far this year?
It's definitely been exciting. Very, very curious to see certain teams and how they've been playing. Specifically, Chelsea. I think Chelsea and Liverpool have been the biggest disappointments so far.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say Man United, but I mean the table speaks for itself. Man United are still in fifth place. They're only a few points off from fourth. So, as bad as it looks on Man United, they haven't been doing as bad as some other teams that should have been a lot higher. Specifically, Chelsea and Liverpool.
I agree with that.
But yeah, I think it's been really exciting so far. You see even some teams that should be mid-table, but they're last place, like Wolves, for example, and Everton and West Ham are nearing those relegation spots. So it's very interesting to see.
Speaking of mid-table teams that aren't where they're supposed to be, how about Newcastle? They have 8 wins, 6 draws, only 1 loss. 30 points, currently third place, 1 point ahead of Spurs. They look solid. I mean, Almiron and their attack has just been lights out so far.
They look amazing. Honestly, for the team that they have, and don't get me wrong, they got good players, but like for the team that they have, they're competing way higher than they should be.
No doubt, yeah.
Especially in a league like the Prem, it's very hard to get those top 6, even top 7 places. So they're doing really, really good. We knew that they would start to improve their quality because of their new investors. We knew that this was coming, but not this fast.
Yeah.
So off to them. They're doing great.
Yeah, hopefully it can stick for them. Going on to the leaders of the league, goals and whatnot. Haaland still tops 6 goals over the runner-up. He has 18 goals. Harry Kane is second with 12. Even how Haaland's been kind of slowing down a bit with injuries and all that, he's still 6 goals ahead of Harry Kane with 18. And Kevin De Bruyne leads the assist with 9. Those two are just such a dynamic duo, and when they get hot, no one can stop them.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, we knew this already. We knew it would happen with Haaland and De Bruyne on the same team. We knew this. We knew this was coming. So it's nothing unexpected, but it's definitely great to see two great players like themselves playing together. It's great to see.
Yeah, if you put I guess arguably the best goal scorer and playmakers in the world right now, if you put them together, sparks will fly.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, that's the Prem. Obviously one of the most exciting leagues in the world and never disappoints. We'll move on to, unless you got anything to say about the Prem before we move on.
No, I think we're good. The Prem's been very exciting, but let me just bring you on to a league that I think might be the best so far.
Mm-hmm.
So far, I think the Serie A has just been crazy this year. We've seen... So, obviously, we're going to be moving on to the Serie A.
Yeah.
We've seen teams start with a bang and then go down, like Udinese, for example.
Mm-hmm.
They were in the top 4 for a while, starting off the season, and now they're down in 8th place.
Mm-hmm.
But we've seen the likes of Milan and Inter battling it out at the top, and now Inter went down in the last few weeks. Now they're starting to come back up, and from Milan is sitting in second right now going into the break with 33 points, and you got Inter in 5th place only 3 points away, so it's super, super tight.
Yeah, you could almost say that this league has like the Prem has like a top 6. This one has like a top 7, 8. So many competitive clubs in this league. One thing I want to mention, Juventus is such a storyline. They're such a big club, but there's such a storyline of the disappointing results they've had domestically and in the Champions League, and all the fire Allegri. They're in 3rd place somehow.
It's crazy. It's honestly crazy to me.
They're 10 points behind Napoli. They're flying, but only 2 points behind Milan. They're 1 point ahead of Inter and Lazio. I mean, they're competing, but maybe they won't get that top spot, but they're competing considering how they started. Much like Manchester United, probably. What do you think?
Yeah, it seems like a bit better than Man United, obviously, because
Hmm.
they're in Juve are in third and United are in fifth. But yeah, I can see how you're trying to relate the two. It definitely seems like it's not as bad as it was being talked. They're definitely doing better than it seemed. They've been going on 6 straight wins with 0 goals conceded. They've had a great run so far. Yeah, they've been doing great, and right now it's tough to say. People would say the most informed team is Napoli, but Juve are right behind them, considering at least the last 6 results. Yeah, they're doing great.
Yeah, no doubt. Really a surprise. They won three in a row, including their last match against Lazio, and they picked up a win earlier on in November against Inter. Those are two
Yeah,
big clubs.
two
Uh,
very
yeah, the three in a row. Yeah, definitely surprising considering the start. But at the end there, Juve, class is permanent. Obviously, they've struggled,
yeah,
but a couple runs and that's where that gets you. Um,
yeah.
how about Napoli? They've got such a duo in what's his name, Kvaratskhelia. Am I saying that right?
Varaskelia, yeah, it's a tricky name, but yeah,
And
uh,
Osimhen.
yeah.
What a partnership there, Nico. You want to take over on them?
Yeah, honestly, they've been so good. They've been unstoppable. We heard this summer that, well, we witnessed them losing a lot of great players. They
Hmm.
lost Mertens, they lost Insigne, Koulibaly. They lost so many great players, but somehow, some way, these guys managed to become the most informed, arguably the most informed team in Europe at the moment.
Out of nowhere.
They're doing amazing. Just out of nowhere, they picked up a couple players that nobody knew of, and they've been doing amazing.
Yeah,
What do you have
they
to say
yeah.
about
Out of nowhere, quite literally. Like before the season, I couldn't tell you who these players were. No one's predicting them to. Osimhen leads the league in goals. No one would predict that. No one would predict Kvaratskhelia, right?
Yep.
to be as good as he is. I mean, even not even in just Serie A, like even in the Champions League, just like spotlights on them. I mean,
Yeah.
would you say one of them is like front runners for MVP of the league?
Honestly, I think right now, yeah, one of Ozyman and Kvaratskhelia are definitely up there. Or they definitely have to be up there. I mean, who else would you put up there?
Yeah.
Leao, as good as he is, he got Player of the Month, but he's been underperforming, and we don't even know if he's gonna be in Serie A come the next half of the league,
Mm-hmm.
next half of the year in January. We don't even know if he's gonna stay on Milan. So who else would you put up there? I'd say Osimhen and Kvaratskhelia are first and second place for MVP as of right now.
Mm-hmm. Even in the next best team, Juventus, they don't really have. Oh, I guess Vlahovic, but they don't really have that one player who's like just taking over their team and carrying them to victory. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, those
Well,
two guys are.
Juve's been doing really good because of their youngsters, but it's
Mm-hmm.
been like a team effort.
Yeah.
I've noticed like they've gotten a lot of young players and they're doing good as it's like a collective effort.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, other than that, you see Inter, they haven't had like one player shining this year. Lukaku has been injured pretty much all season so
Mm-hmm.
far. Um, so that was disappointing for them. But I mean, no other team has had one player that's been doing as good as Ozyman or Kvaratskhelia.
I'll give one honorable mention to Paulo Dybala before he got hurt. He was doing well. Obviously, now it's kind of hard to put him in that conversation with those two guys, but he had a decent start to the year. But yeah, there's no doubt those two guys on Napoli leading the line just lights out for them. Anything else you want to touch on Serie A before we move on to La Liga?
No, I think that's everything.
All right. So La Liga, I want to say it's good to see Barcelona, Real Madrid back to battling for the top spot, doing so well in the league. They only have one loss each. But man, oh man, Atletico Madrid. Uh,
Hmm.
uh,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. They're in the Champions League, finishing bottom of their group. They're currently fifth place in La Liga, tied with Betis in sixth. Currently out of a Champions League spot. Just so many bad results in a row. Let me see here. Um, so they've won their last game yesterday, but that was Copa del Rey. Uh, wow. They haven't won since October 23rd against Betis. They've been winless
Yeah.
in five straight
Pardon?
games. They've been winless in five straight games.
Yeah.
So,
It's
yeah.
it's very
Uh,
disappointing for Atletico fans.
yeah. I have one
Um,
question for you. Uh, what do you think of Simeone? Do you think he stays? I know a lot of the fans love him, but with performances like this, it's natural to question the manager. What do you think of him?
I think he's definitely made a name for himself the last few years. He's a good manager, but I think for Atletico's own good, I think it's time to find someone new. I think
Yeah.
it's time for him to go, honestly. I don't think he has anything more to offer to the team.
Hmm.
I think he's done the most he can over the last few years. He won them La Liga. He got them pretty far in the Champions League, got them to a few Champions League finals. But other than that, he hasn't had much more to offer, and he's had great teams over the last few years. So, I mean, I think other than that, he can't really offer much more. I think it's time for him to go.
Yeah, no disrespect to him, but everything comes to an end. Not saying that this is the end, but you definitely looked for that angle after all these years and the recent form. Uh,
Yep.
let's see the leaders here. Lewandowski, what a great pickup that was for Barcelona. Not really a surprise, but just showing you how he can do it in any league. Uh,
Mhm.
Ousmane Dembele finally not in that carousel of different injuries. He's been able to play,
Yeah.
and he's second in the league in assists. Who stands out to you the most this year?
I think definitely one of Dembele, Lewandowski, Gavi's been doing really good for Barca.
Mm-hmm.
Who else?
Vinicius
I
Jr.
think
is always decent.
Yeah, I was just about to say Vinicius Jr. for Real Madrid. He's been doing great. Uh, a surprise. Well, not really a surprise, but like someone who I didn't think was gonna do as good as he is. Rudiger. He's been doing great
Mm-hmm.
for Real Madrid. He's been doing really good.
Yeah, he's a warrior.
He settled in very well. But yeah, other than that, there's not much more to talk about for La Liga.
Yeah. I'll give
Same-
one shout out to Valverde. He's been good for Real Madrid. Yeah.
Oh yeah, what about him? Valverde's been great. Ancelotti's been enjoying that.
Yeah, no doubt.
But
Okay.
yeah, other than that, there's not much else to cover for La Liga. Barca, Real Madrid are fighting for the top.
Yeah.
Atletico will be looking to come back in the top four
Mm-hmm.
once the league resumes.
So after those three, we'll do a quick brief on Bundesliga and League One. We'll go to the Bundesliga first. No surprise, the leaders is Bayern Munich. A couple surprises personally. I did not expect Freiburg not finish, but to currently be second place. You got Leipzig in third, not a surprise. Frankfurt in the top four as well. Surprise, Dortmund are in sixth place. They'll look to turn that around. Union Berlin in fifth. So a couple surprises in the top six there, Freiburg and Berlin. Nkunku leading the league in goals. But how good is Musiala for Bayern Munich, Nico?
Well, he's really him and Jude Bellingham have been great. I think honestly think they have been the top two players this year in the Bundesliga so far. They've been amazing. Two great youngsters, but Musiala specifically, he's been really, really good.
Yeah.
Definitely the future of Germany's midfield. I think he's going to do wonders.
So yeah, Bundesliga, Bayern Munich leading the league. We'll move to League One. Another no-brainer. PSG topped the league there. They got
Nothing new.
41 points. They're without a defeat. Is that the only team in the top five leagues that is undefeated so far, Nico?
I believe so, at least league wise. I'm
Yeah.
not sure if PSG were undefeated in the Champions League. I'm not sure
Um,
if we'll check that, but I think PSG as of right now, for to be sure, I think they're the only undefeated team domestically.
yeah, they have not lost in the Champions League.
Okay, so they are the only undefeated team in Europe right now.
Even in a league like that, it's still impressive. You gotta show up every day to not, you know, lose a match, which is in professional sports is very hard to do. Obviously, that front three for PSG, no surprise, just taking over the league. Mbappe, Neymar, Messi. Messi having a very
Mhm.
good year. I think he was kind of on a down year last year, but this year he's really picked it up, leading the league in assists. Um, Looking to get that last World Cup, well, first and last, but we'll get to that later. But yeah, the
Yep.
League One, no surprise. Anything you want to touch on that?
No, I think that's everything. Yeah.
Uh,
Same as always. It's
yeah,
not the same, but Bundesliga and Liga are always kind of around the same area as always, you know.
yeah,
Always seeing the same team on top, and it's disappointing, but it is what it is.
yeah.
Yeah. At least we have other leagues to keep us more entertained.
Mhm. For sure.
But yeah, I think before we get to anything else, we should also go over the Champions League.
Yeah, good
I
idea.
think we can go over the teams that made it through to the round of 16, and we should just do a quick overview of that.
I agree. So I'll ask you a question about the Champions League. What's the most intriguing matchup since the draw? You think?
Okay, the most sorry, going into the round of 16?
Yeah, like the matchup in the which matchup like interests you the most? Like which matchup is going to be the most exciting?
I mean, it has to be between PSG, Bayern Munich, and Liverpool, Real Madrid.
Yeah.
Has to be.
Yeah, Liverpool Real Madrid is a replay of the final, and then
Yeah, so that's gonna be interesting.
yeah, and PSG Bayern, we just mentioned them. They're just a German giant and French giant just going at it. Yeah, you can continue saying what you were saying there.
Yeah, but I don't know if I really had to pick, I would say PSG versus Bayern simply because they're one of the two main teams that I have winning it this year.
Yeah,
Or they're two of the teams that I have winning this year. I think they're two giants of the game, and they're gonna put on a really entertaining game.
yeah, I agree. Can't wait for that matchup. A few other matchups here. I'll just list them off. We got
Yeah.
Milan and Tottenham.
Another great game.
Yeah, another one that's evenly matched. Champions League will obviously come back on February 14th. So Milan, Tottenham, PSG, Bayern, we mentioned. Next day we got Dortmund and Chelsea. And that same day we got Club Brugge and Benfica. The next week later we got Frankfurt, Napoli. Then that same day Liverpool, Real Madrid. Next day we got Inter and Porto. And the last matchup, Leipzig and Man City.
Hmm. Very
Um,
interesting games. Very
yeah.
nice games. Great entertainment. I honestly can't wait for February to come around.
Yeah, no doubt. I can't wait either. Um, Anything about
Let's
the Champions
just
League that you wanted to say?
I just wanted to just point out the teams that didn't go through. So we got Atletico Madrid, Barca. Who else? We have Sevilla and we have Juve, all going to the Europa League.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, no, Atletico not
actually,
in the Europa League.
yeah. Sorry, Atletico Madrid fans, but yeah. Your team is unfortunately not going to Europa League. My bad. Yeah, I think very disappointing, but at the same time, it's also going to make Europa League a lot more interesting. So
Yeah.
it's nice to have both competitions balanced out this year.
Hmm.
We'll see what happens there.
I was quite disappointed when Barcelona and Man United were matched up because that would mean that one of them is immediately eliminated. But that should be an
Yeah.
exciting match for Europa League nonetheless.
Yeah, it was very unfortunate, but yeah. So if you want to go over Europa League,
Yeah, we'll
we
go quickly.
can
Yeah.
we can
Um.
list off a few interesting games.
Yeah.
The best ones, I guess.
I won't mention all of them, but the bigger games. So we obviously mentioned Barcelona, Manchester United, Salzburg, and Roma. Salzburg pulled up a couple upsets against Milan and Chelsea in the group stage in the Champions League. Leverkusen, Monaco, Juventus, and Nantes from France. Sevilla, PSV, and then yeah, those are just the matchups there. That's the first round, and then obviously second round, you'll see more other teams get into the mix. But yeah, I think we can both agree what the main matchup is here, right, Nico?
Yeah, I think Barca versus Man United is definitely a top match. And I think it's gonna bring a lot more entertainment to the Europa League.
Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely good to see them battling it out. I think we can move on to our next topic.
Yeah.
Our main topic. We can get into the upcoming World Cup.
Oh, before we get there, I want to mention the or do you want to do the World Cup, or do you want to mention the upcoming January window?
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, we can talk about the January window.
Okay, so
So
yeah, go ahead, take it.
no, introduce it.
Okay,
What
so
would you like to mainly focus on today?
yeah, so the upcoming January window is an interesting story because obviously, unlike any other year, the World Cup is happening in the middle of the season, from November 20th to December 18th. And usually in a World Cup, you see a couple players that unexpectedly have a breakout tournament and they get interest from bigger teams. Um, One I want to say is James Rodriguez in the 2014 World Cup. I think he was still on Monaco when he entered that tournament, right? And he got signed by Real Madrid. Is that correct?
If I remember correctly, yes.
Okay. Well,
But I might have to check that later.
yeah. But along those lines, even if I'm incorrect, but you know what I mean. Like, it's a great opportunity for players to show what they can do. And yeah, that right after the World Cup, January window is just a couple weeks away, and that'll allow anyone to get signed. You mentioned earlier about Leao, who might not even stay on Milan with their contract negotiations. Will he sign? Will he not? He could leave in January. But yeah, what other rumors do you hear? What can you see that might change? What do you think?
Oh yeah, the Leao is definitely a big one. He's one of the top young players in the world right now, and he's rumored to be leaving Milan. And it's complicated, but it pretty much just goes down to if Milan are going to be able to give the player what he wants. At the end of the day, what some people don't know is Leao is in a legal battle right now, and he's been forced to pay somewhere near 14 to 15 million dollars back to Sporting because of something that happened when he moved from Sporting to Lille. And pretty much what Leao is asking from Milan is for them to pay this legal fee plus plus the wages that he's requesting, which are around 6 to 8 million a year. It hasn't been specified exactly, but that's around what he's asking for. So that's definitely going to be hard to keep him there, considering how much money Milan are going to have to dish out. And we all know how Milan is operating as of late in recent years. They don't like to hand money out to players. They only accept players who want to be there to play, and they don't like it when players want money and only money. And we saw what happened with Donnarumma. But I feel like Milan really have to take into consideration how important Leao is for them.
Yeah, I think whether they keep him or not, I think Milan are running it the right way. Maldini certainly knows how to run a club, and you're right. You shouldn't be paying players that are just because they're hyped up by media because of how young they are. They gotta show it, and I think Milan are doing the right thing whether they sign him or not. I know they'll figure it out, but yeah, Leao is one big name for sure.
Yeah, another name, which has been on headlines recently on transfer market. They're claiming that PSG are hoping to sign Felix in January, which I found very interesting.
That
Joao
is an
Felix,
interesting one.
as we know, is having a hard time in recent years at Atletico.
Yeah.
He's never really showed what his true market value was.
Mm-hmm.
And do you have anything to add on Joao Felix to PSG?
Yeah, I just want to say, like, obviously, I don't know if it's the playing style of Atletico Madrid, where, everyone knows they got this defensive system, all 10 players and the goalkeeper behind the ball, which might have hurt his maybe creativity and vision of the game for him to really show his value. But even if he goes to PSG, I mean, I don't think much will change. They got Messi, Mbappe, Neymar. Like, try and bench one of those guys, right? He'll definitely be on the bench unless they deal one of those top 3 guys, which I don't know if that will happen. I haven't heard anything about them, but Felix, I think he still has a lot to prove. Obviously, he has to prove his value. What was it, like 120 million, where he got signed?
Yeah, it was 120 million.
Yeah, you'll have to show that for sure. Only time will tell, but yeah, that's all I can say about him. Do you have any other rumors? I got some here, but you can go over what you have if you want.
Yeah, so I just have one more. Actually, sorry, 2 more.
Mm-hmm.
So one of them is a probable rumor. One of them is just fantasy, according to football fans. Kvaratskhelia, as we were talking about before, he's been linked with a lot of Premier League teams.
Right.
And also Real Madrid.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I think Napoli are not going to let him go unless it's for a crazy figure. I think over 100 million, and they might think about it.
Yeah.
But I don't, at least not right now. They just got him. They haven't even had time to enjoy him for a season yet. They're not going to let him go in January.
Yeah, if they want to continue to, lead Serie A, if they keep players like him, then they'll be up there for a long time. I think being linked to Premier League teams, I think a lot of big players do. That might just be like the media over there. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets picked up by a big team like that. I know I've heard interest from Liverpool. Klopp likes to sign players that do well against him. I wouldn't be surprised if that went through. Real Madrid's an interesting one. They obviously have Vinicius. They got Rodrigo. Who else they have up there? I guess Valverde can play up there sometimes, but it'll be hard for him to be a regular there.
Yeah, but I mean, it's hard to tell if these rumors are true. You see these top teams linked with a lot of young players every year. You see Real Madrid, Barca, Liverpool, Man City. They always get linked with these players, and then it never ends up happening. So you never know. I mean, Real Madrid have been linked with Leao for a couple months now, but nothing concrete ever happens. It's a big what if, like it's nothing put into stone, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that. Is there one more player you wanted to say?
Yeah, I wanted to just talk about Gakpo. He's a player on PSV. I think many of you probably know him. He's been doing wonders this season. He's been doing really, really good. I think many teams want him, specifically Manchester United. He's been doing great. He has 13 goals and 17 assists so far. He's been doing so good in 24 matches. In the league, obviously. He's been doing so good. I think many top teams are going to be looking to sign him up, if not this winter, in the summer for sure.
Is he going to the World Cup? Do you know that?
I'm not sure. I know he plays for the Netherlands. I would be surprised if he didn't get called up.
Oh, he
honestly
did. I just looked at it.
Okay.
He did, yeah.
But yeah, he has the most goal involvements in all of Europe right now. So It's crazy. He's in front of Neymar and Haaland, in front of Messi, in front of Mbappe. He's been doing great.
Wow.
And
watch out for him.
Very, very good player so far.
There's a couple players here. Oh, did you want to say something?
No, I was just gonna say, you never know. Like, these players are young, and you never, like, they could have like a breakout season, and then they could fall off the face of the earth.
Yeah, that happens. that
I don't
happened
really
there.
know, but let's hope for the kid that he has a good career.
Yeah, no doubt. I have a couple wild ones here on BBC.com. Um, One big player we forgot to mention is Jude Bellingham. I think it's only a matter of time that he gets picked up from a giant in England.
Yeah.
Um, there's a lot of rumors about him. An interesting one I see here on BBC as mentioned. So they obviously have their new boss, Unai Emery, who's done decent for them so far. They bet Man United his first game, correct? Yeah.
Yep.
Apparently he's interested in Eden Hazard and Nacho Fernandez.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty crazy. That would be amazing for Aston Villa, considering the players that they already bought,
Yeah.
like Coutinho. I think that would be great for them, honestly.
Yeah.
Good for them.
Good
to sign
chance.
those two players.
Yeah, good chance for Hazard to like kind of reevaluate himself. That would be a good fresh start for him, I think. So
He
big
definitely
moves
needs a
there.
team like that. He definitely needs a team like that to really
Mhm.
boost his confidence and really get him to go back to the level he used to be at. Maybe not exactly where he used to be at, but hopefully playing consistently and scoring consistently, providing for his team like he used to.
I agree. What else is here? Verratti is close to signing an extension, according to BBC, to stay at PSG. Milan are interested in Hakim Ziyech in January. Have you heard
Yeah,
about that
that's a
one?
big one. That's a big one. They've been interested in signing Ziyech for a while. They've been linked to him for the last 2 years, so it's really hard to decide whether or not they're gonna sign him. But I think he's closer now than he's ever been. Milan just got a new ownership. They're looking to really make a mark for their first transfer market. And yeah, I think the chances of him coming to Milan in January are maybe higher than 60 to 70%. I think this is the time where Ziyech can finally go to Milan and help Milan out on that right wing where they've been lacking for a few years now, and really just get them to be more of a complete team.
Yeah, I think he'd be good support on that right wing. Like, I feel like maybe that position might need a boost for Milan. What do you think? I think so, right?
Yeah, right now they have Salamakers and Junior Messias. I mean, they're two average players at best, but Salamakers is a very good young prospect, but he can't be starting in Milan's 11 right now.
Yeah.
And he's injured right now, so he barely played this season. But Junior Messias is not good enough to start for Milan. That's just, and I know, I see fans complaining about it all the time. He's just not good enough.
Yeah.
He's a very mediocre player, and if you look at Milan's lineup, it hurts to see Junior Messias on that right wing, just because you see class players all over the starting 11. And then, no offense to him, like, he's a great player when he comes on, he works hard, but he doesn't have the quality that Milan deserve to have on that right wing.
Right. I think Milan. Yeah, I mean, big players are meant to go to Milan. They're such a big club. They're obviously not where they were in the early 2000s days with Ronaldinho and Kaká and other names like those, but they're definitely building toward that. And yeah, like you said, Macias is not a player that's going to be leading them to Champions League finals and all those things. But yeah, no disrespect to him. I think any other things you want to mention about that?
No, I think we can move on.
Yeah.
We can move on to the next topic.
Yeah. So yeah, just the overhaul of what we just said. January window, lots of opportunities for players to get picked up, and to help those teams that are not doing so well right now. Our next topic is we'll tie these in together. We're gonna touch on the World Cup now. We got key players that may lead their team to the promised land, and also players who were not selected, players who were snubbed. We won't mention players that were injured. It'll probably come up, but mainly the players who are plainly not selected by those managers. Um, what do you think, Nico? You want to do key players not selected? What do you think?
Yeah, let's just do key players. Like just the biggest surprises overall. I think if we want to start off, let's just start name dropping. Um, all right, so England.
Right.
Yeah, it's crazy. What's happened with England this last week? We've seen the likes of Reece James, Jordan Sancho, Fikayo Tomori, Tammy Abraham, all even Emil Smith Rowe, uh, Harvey Elliott, Ben Chilwell. All these players have not been called up for the England national team.
Yeah, I think. I don't know if I think Chilwell and Reece James both might be injured. I think.
They are, but they're. I'm not sure. Okay, I don't know about Chilwell, but I know Reece James. It might not have been as serious as many thought,
Yeah.
and apparently we saw him protesting, the last few days, against England's manager.
Mm-hmm.
We saw him sharing his opinion on what he thought about the selection. I don't know if his injury was as serious as many thought.
You think maybe
Um,
that they made it bigger an issue, so if they didn't select him, it wouldn't look as bad.
I don't want to bring it to any conclusions, but maybe.
Yeah.
I just think that he definitely had a chance to go, and he would have been a game changer. But as we know, this England team with the manager that they have, he's not. I don't want to be harsh on the guy, but he's just not making smart choices at all, and bringing the likes of Maguire and others. I don't want to start name dropping because I feel bad,
Right.
but we can name drop Maguire just simply because it's Maguire.
Yeah.
Bringing Maguire and not Tomori is an insult to football.
It really is. Like,
Put it that way.
I've watched a couple Milan games this year, specifically in Champions League, and wow, Chelsea probably shouldn't have gave him up. He's such a tank. He's so fast. He's so big. Gets in front of like every shot, blocking shots, getting in the way, doing something to interrupt attackers. Like, I mean, okay, if players are better than him, then yeah, you can't take him. But this England defense is it's not much better than Tomori. I mean, if Tomori gets selected, I think he's one of the better defenders in that lineup. And
Yeah.
And one more thing, like I think Southgate is the only player he picked not in the Premier League, Bellingham.
Yeah. Yeah, the only player not in the Premier League was Bellingham, and that's a shame.
Yeah.
That is a shame. I mean, you got the likes of Tomori and Abraham. They've been doing amazing in Serie A. Tomori won the Serie A with Milan. Abraham was doing so good last season. He scored a bucket load of goals. He scored so many goals for Roma last season, and he doesn't get called up.
Yeah.
So it's just, I don't know. It's crazy to me.
Would you say it's maybe favoritism?
I think so. I think Southgate just really likes his Premier League players. I don't know why. I don't know what he has against players that play outside of England. Maybe he just doesn't like the fact that they play in a different league with different rhythm, and maybe he has this thing in his mind where,
Some English philosophy.
yeah, just English philosophy that, like, if you play outside of England, you just shouldn't play in the national team. I don't know. But whatever it is, it's not smart in my opinion. I think whoever's in charge of managers for England should really reconsider their managerial position right now.
Yeah, I think
that
yeah.
after the World Cup, I think Southgate has to go, and all the England fans are asking for it. So
Very well
Yeah.
said. Very well said. I guess we touched on England. There's a couple favorites for this World Cup. I guess would you say Brazil is I don't know. I want to say France, but I guess sometimes they're inconsistent, especially in like, I know it's qualifying in Nations League, but I've seen some inconsistency there. Um, but Brazil seem to be just on fire. Them and Argentina. Argentina have like some crazy streak going. Um,
Yeah, is it still going or is it?
I
I think
don't
it's
know.
still going. I think it's still going. I think they tied Italy actually.
Yeah, when they had
Um,
that crazy run.
yeah, I think they recently tied Italy, and if they win any group stage games, then they're gonna be the record holders.
Wow.
Yeah, the Argentina's been doing great. They have a great attacking team. Maybe not so good defensive wise, but
Right.
their attacking is amazing.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the difference maker when you compare Argentina to Brazil. They both have great teams, but you can say that Brazil is more of a complete team. They got a whole starting 11 plus their bench and their reserve that can play on the first team. And for Argentina, you can't really say the same. They have their starting 11 and then maybe a few players on the bench, but that's it. But Brazil have so much depth. They have top class players in every single position.
Agreed.
And everybody knows this. It's nothing new. They've always been like this. But this year, with the young talent that they have and the experience, they look unstoppable. I don't know how they're going to get knocked out if they get knocked out. And if they don't, then we're going to be talking about Brazil winning their 6th World Cup. So,
Wow. Yeah.
yeah.
Unbelievable stuff from them. Yeah, definitely a favorites for the competition. Um, Not to get off topic, but let's quickly go back to I guess the snubbed players. I feel like one thing bothering me about the Spain national team is David De Gea.
Yeah.
Obviously, Man United may not have the season that they want to in certain points of this year, but I feel like you can't blame De Gea too much, especially when, not to hate on Maguire too much, but everyone knows what he is. I think De Gea sometimes rescues Man United a bit from losing more than what they do. But even if he doesn't start, I mean, you got a couple good goalkeepers from, what's the Brighton keeper? Sanchez.
Yeah.
Who's their other keeper that they brought up? I think his name is Simon. I feel like David De Gea should have been picked up, just because of who he is. I mean, it's not like you're gonna bring him to the team and he's gonna bring your team down. I mean, very good professional player. He never really complains in a heavy media like Manchester United.
Yeah.
He's just an out and out professional. I think they should have brought him, but that's just my opinion. Is there anyone else that was snubbed that you think deserves to be?
Ramos.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot about that.
Sergio Ramos, Thiago.
Yeah.
So many great players that should have been in that Spain team that got snubbed. And I know they have a great team. I know they got a lot of. I think they have the most under 20 players at the World Cup. If I'm not mistaken. I don't know. I think it's between them and Germany and France, I think.
Yeah, Spain's definitely a young team for sure. Yeah.
But I mean, Spain have Pedri and Gavi, which are two sensational players.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't blame them for trying to bring in the youth, but I think they should have had some experience.
Yeah.
That remained in the team as well.
Especially Ramos. That guy's won countless Champions League. He has a World Cup. He has a couple European Championships. I mean, and he's still starting. He's still starting for Paris. It's not like he's riding the bench anywhere.
Yeah. He's just a good player to have, even if he's not going to play all your games, just to have him there for the moral support for the team. Like, he's going to, like, be that manager on the bench, that second manager that's going to be pushing the team on and motivating the team. But, yeah, I don't want to spend too much time talking about that.
Yeah.
I think we should definitely just move on to our overall predictions for the World Cup.
Yeah, that's a great idea. So how should we go about this? Should we do group stage? Should we do the whole thing after group stage? What should we do?
I think we should just we should just talk about, like, just list them in different categories. So, like, let's start off. Yeah, let's start off with group stage winners. So who do you
Okay.
think is gonna win Group A?
Uh, I, th- I mean, Senegal have been in the last World Cup. They've definitely been a team to watch with all their speed and their talent coming up these days. Like Mane, they got Mendy in net. They have Koulibaly, don't they?
Yeah,
Yeah, they got him. They're a good team, but I think we can say that Netherlands will take that group.
yeah, I
Yeah,
think so too.
yeah. Would you say the same?
Yeah, I think honestly, I mean, there's not much other competition. I think
Mm-hmm.
Netherlands should take that group easily, but you never know in the World Cup. Anything can happen, you know.
Yeah, no disrespect to those other teams. But it's a bit of a weaker group, I think.
Yeah,
Um, in Group B, we have a very interesting group.
yeah.
There's England, Iran, and then USA, Wales. They got three English-speaking countries. That's
That's what I was
interesting.
about to say. Very interesting to put a mic on the field during those games.
Yeah, you don't see that happening a lot in the World Cup, but
Seeing all the
um,
insults that are gonna be flying around those games.
yeah, I wish that football made more mic'd up moments. I know they do that in the NFL and NHL and NBA. I think they should do that in football. I think that would be fun to listen to. But yeah, who do you got winning this group, Nico?
Okay, England should win this group. If they don't win this group, that'll just I mean, it'll prove Southgate wrong, which is something that I think everybody wants. But at the same time, I think England, like, they should be winning this.
Yeah.
USA have a very interesting team, very promising team. A lot of youngsters who are playing in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, but other than that, Wales are a pretty good team too. But yeah, England should be winning it.
Yeah, I agree. England should win it, but I don't know. England always I feel like disappoints in some way in some tournament. You know, they'll get a draw against like Iran or something, and then
Yeah.
like win against Wales and then like draw against USA or something. I'll go out on a limb here and say I think USA might win the group. But
That's honestly, I don't blame you for that. That's honestly a very smart bet. Considering how England's behaved
right,
recently.
yeah. Um,
But yeah. Now let's move on to Group C. So we got Argentina, Mexico, Poland, Saudi Arabia. I'm just gonna go out and say Argentina. Next.
Next.
What do you think?
Yeah, Argentina. I mean, Messi is gonna be hunting for that World Cup. Not that anyone
Yeah.
else won't, but this guy's won everything, and this is the last thing on his checklist. Nothing's gonna stop that guy. I think it's easy to say Argentina will win that group.
They got so great attacking talents. They got Messi, Lautaro Martinez, Dybala,
Yeah,
Di Maria.
too
I
much
mean,
to
the
handle.
list goes on.
Too much to handle, definitely. But I think an interesting thing. Who will finish second, Mexico or Poland?
That's very interesting. Poland have a lot of great underrated players. They got Zielinski, who a lot of people aren't talking about, but he's doing great for Napoli
Yeah.
this season.
Yeah.
Last season, he was doing really good too. They got actually, I think, they're tied with Serbia, and this is just an interesting fact. They're tied with Serbia for the most Serie A players in their lineup for the World Cup.
Mm.
So that was really interesting. I think they have like 12 players from Serie A.
Wow, that's a lot, actually.
So we know who Italians are going to be cheering for this year. Either Poland or Serbia.
Yeah, and then they got a player named Robert Lewandowski. I don't know if you heard them.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. He might help out somehow, but like just very minimal.
Yeah, I guess breaking down that team, I'd say Poland over Mexico.
Yeah, honestly, Mexico might do good, but yeah, Poland. I'd say Poland second,
Yeah.
but who knows? Anything can happen.
Yeah.
Once again.
Group D. What do you think?
Group D, France. They really should be winning, but
Denmark are not a team to sleep on for sure.
No, Denmark, and we'll get to like dark horses after we predict the winners of the groups and like
Mm-hmm.
other categories too. But yeah, Denmark should not be slept on. Denmark are a very strong team. Like we saw it in the last World Cup.
Even in the European
Um,
Championships too.
and sorry, yes, my bad. I meant to say in the European Championship. We saw it in the European Championship. They were a really strong team, and they almost made it all the way.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
they did really good. Yeah. So, but I mean, let's just put it this way. I think France should be winning this
yeah.
group.
With the talent and all that firepower they have, yeah, they should be winning that group. Nothing to disagree there. Group E, Nico. There's two giants there. I think will win, but which one will it be?
And now we get to the tricky one. Um, let's see. Japan. No, I'm joking. I think I think Spain. I'm gonna go out and say Spain.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can
I'm gonna
totally
say
back
Spain
that.
just because they have so many great young players, so many. And I think they're gonna drag the team. They're gonna be very motivated. It's for most of them, it's their first World Cup. They're gonna be wanting to make a name for themselves, and they even have some young players who haven't made a name for themselves domestically yet.
Yeah.
So keep an eye out for some other players on Spain, not just Gavi and Pedri.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's gonna be definitely very close. But yeah, we'll see what happens there.
Yeah. One player I like from Spain is Ferran Torres. He's on Barcelona now, and he was on Man City for a little bit. He seems to be good. I like him a lot. Spain and Germany, I don't know, like, for all the years I remember them playing, they've just been, like, probably the two best teams in world football for, like, so long, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just those countries. But in the even the last Euros, they've kind of been disappointing, I think. When Spain lost like Casillas and Puyol and David Villa, and then Germany lost, Philip Lahm, Miroslav Klose, to like, a few legendary players for those countries. But now, like you said, they got these young guys. You mentioned Pedri, Gavi. Germany got Havertz is quite young. They've got Musiala's a very young, talented player. There's so much talent to go around. Rudiger, I think, really hasn't played in a World Cup, has he? I don't think he was. Was he in the 2018 World Cup? Maybe he was, but he's in the best form of his life.
It seems crazy to me if he hasn't.
Yeah.
But you never know. You never know.
Going off note here, it's actually Van Dijk's first World Cup I read the other day.
Wow.
Yeah, and he's 31.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, so, yeah, just an interesting fact. Yeah, for the winner of that group, I'll say Germany, just to give a different opinion, just to see how that goes. But either of those teams will definitely take that group. I don't think they'll slip up. Group F,
Okay.
Nico.
Okay, so Group F, we got Belgium, Canada, Croatia, Morocco. This group is so much closer than many think. It's unbelievable. I honestly, it's hard to pick a winner here. They're all like very good teams. Belgium obviously like probably is gonna be the team that everybody's gonna say is gonna make it through. But I don't know. Croatia's pretty good, but they've been going downhill recently in recent years.
They're getting a bit
Morocco?
older.
Yeah, they're getting older. Morocco's they
They have a couple guys. They got Hakimi and Ziyech.
Yeah.
I was looking at this the other day. I feel like I should mention it. So the Belgian team, where everyone will pick them to win this group, with their big names. They got the Lukakus, the Hazards in those years. Even players like Trossard, who's been very good for Brighton. Courtois. But let me read you their defense. So they have Vertonghen and Alderweireld. right? Two staples in that team. Both those players are getting older. Vertonghen plays on Anderlecht, and Alderweireld plays on Royal Antwerp. They're getting a bit older, I think. They have Meunier, who's decent at right back. Played for PSG for a few years. He's on Dortmund now. But their defense, other than those three that I mentioned, no disrespect to the other players, but I've never heard of.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like they've had the same team for a long while now.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out in the next few years for Belgium. Hopefully they get a few more youngsters in defense. But yeah. Honestly, let me just give you my opinion with this group. I think Belgium will win the group.
Yeah.
I think the likes of De Bruyne
Forgot to mention him, yeah.
are going to drag them to the round of 16. But I'd say just keep an eye on Croatia and Morocco. And I think Canada even have a shout to come second. Honestly, they got a fair chance to come second.
Yeah, that second place will be very competitive. I think Croatia will nudge out the young players of Canada and Morocco just because Croatia's been there, done that. They went to the finals in the last competition. They got players like Modric, Kovacic, Perisic is the player I really like. Never seems to have an off day, that guy. They just have so many good players, just experience-wise, where they've been there, done that, as I said. But yeah, Morocco and Canada, such young teams. It's very exciting to watch. Morocco, we've mentioned, they got Hakimi and Ziyech. Canada have Alphonso Davies, Jonathan David, Stefan Eustáquio of Porto. Some young, fast players. I mean, if they cause an upset, I wouldn't be too surprised. But I think Belgium, Croatia will be able to calm them down, I think.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to Group G. We got Brazil, Cameroon, Serbia, and Switzerland. Much like Argentina's group, I'm gonna say Brazil.
Yeah.
On to you.
I think Group G is a little bit more competitive than Group C. Serbia. Yeah, Serbia have good players. I think they got Vlahovic and Mitrovic, right?
Yeah.
That's a very good strike force. Switzerland, they always seem to have a decent tournament. Cameroon, I don't think they were in the last one. They're back. But yeah, definitely more competitive than Group C. But yeah, I don't think anyone's touching Brazil. I'll go and say that they win all 3 games in this group.
Oh yeah, easy sweep.
Yeah.
All right, let's not spend too much time on that one. Let's just say Switzerland's probably gonna come second, but it's gonna be tight with Serbia.
Yeah, I think either of those.
Pardon?
I think either of those will take second spot for sure.
Yeah, definitely. All right, and the last group is Group H. We got Ghana, Portugal, South Korea, Uruguay. I think Portugal should be making it out of this group.
Yeah, I think so too. They usually, I don't know, past year they seem to struggle a bit in big name competitions. In the Euros that they've won, they actually didn't win a single game in regular time except in the semifinal against Wales. They drew all their group stage matches. They were the best third place team, so they were able to move on. The rest of the games from there on were either in extra time and penalties that they've won in, including the finals where Eder scored that magical goal for them. But I don't know, they seem to struggle in big tournaments. They've obviously got those big players, like not just Ronaldo. They got Bruno Fernandes, Rafael Leao, Bernardo Silva is decent. At the back, they got Cancelo, Ruben Diaz. So exciting players there, but yeah, what do you got to say?
Yeah, honestly, Portugal, they should be coming first. They got very good players. I think Rafael Leao is going to be one of the stars in this tournament, especially for Portugal, but overall as well. Yeah, so they should be coming first. And Uruguay, I think, will come second. Yeah, I think they won't have much competition. They'll be able to beat Ghana and South Korea.
I have a little hot take to say about this group.
Let's hear it.
What if I say that South Korea beats Uruguay for second place?
I wouldn't be surprised. Honestly, I wouldn't. considering what happened in the 2018 World Cup, I wouldn't be surprised.
They've got Son, who was already a beast in the last World Cup, is only getting better. He is going there, right? He hasn't picked up an injury.
No, he's going.
Okay. And they have that center back from Napoli, Kim Min-jae, who's been absolutely solid for them. They have a couple other decent players in La Liga. I mean, not a lot of big star players other than Son, but I feel like they're a team that could work together, and Son can obviously do wonders for them. I mean, I look at Uruguay, and a lot of their players are getting older. Other than like players like Valverde, who I'm sure will have a breakout tournament. Araujo from Barcelona is a decent player, if he's not hurt. But other than that, like, I wouldn't be too surprised to see that upset. If Uruguay finished second, fair play to them. They've been there, done that type of thing. But I don't know. Look out for South Korea and Son for sure.
Yeah, honestly, that's very fair. I forgot to realize what happened in the 2018 World Cup. I mean, they beat Germany 2-0.
Yeah.
So, like, watch out for South Korea. That's all I have to say.
Okay, we got our group predictions down. Do you want to go? Well, I don't know. Do you want to go do knockouts or save that for another episode? If you want to save that, I got something here. I sent it to you through Instagram a couple days ago. There's a couple things we can predict on. Do you want to go through that instead?
Yeah, let's just do let's just go through those topics.
Okay. Do you have it? Do you have it with you?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
Oh, beautiful. Okay, I got it here too. Do you want to start from the bottom up?
Oh yeah, sure.
Okay.
Let's start from the bottom. Breakout stars, or breakout star, like the one breakout star from the tournament.
Yeah. What do you think? You want to go first?
Yeah. Okay. I can go first.
Go ahead.
Like I said before, Leao.
Mm-hmm.
I really know he's not gonna be like considered breakout star because he's already won MVP in Serie A. But by breakout star, like by choosing Leao, I mean he's really gonna cement what fans of Serie A have known for a while now, and he's really gonna show the whole world that he's definitely top 5 best players in the world right now. And I know it's a very hot take, but he is gonna show, and hopefully for him he will. But I'm just predicting that Leao has the capability to show that he is one of the top players in the world right now. I think he definitely has a chance to be the breakout star of this tournament if he can push Portugal very far in the tournament and provide a lot of goals and assists for them.
Yeah, a lot of eyes on him for sure. Yeah, like you said, like players who already are big, but they could still have a breakout tournament. I look at players like Pedri from Spain. He's still young. Everyone knows he's good, but could still just get even better. I also look at Vinicius Jr. from Brazil, another player that everyone knows is decent and is still young and still have a lot to improve. But I look at this Netherlands team who, no offense to the other team, but look like a weaker group, and there's so much opportunity for players to showcase what they have against those teams. And I look at players like you mentioned before, Gakpo, who's so young and promising. If he gets playing regularly in the World Cup, I could see him bring a breakout star. And also a player that we haven't mentioned that we probably should have is Xavi Simons.
Yes,
on PSV as well, who's like I believe he was on Barcelona Academy, then went to PSG, and now he's on PSV.
Yeah, he's been doing great. He's definitely one to look out for as well.
Yeah, a lot of eyes have been on him for quite some time, and I really look forward to see if he can break into that 11 for Netherlands. But if he does, watch out. Like, that's a promising kid. Yeah, I'll go with either of those guys for my breakout stars.
Okay,
most assists. It's hard not to say Kevin De Bruyne. He's already Yeah.
right now.
He,
Kevin De Bruyne.
he's already top assister in the Premier League. That's one of the hardest leagues to do it. Obviously, he has Haaland. I think that helps, but that doesn't take away his brilliance on the pitch. I mean, he was already a top playmaker before we even heard of Haaland, right? So
Yeah.
I think that might not be a no-brainer, but I wouldn't be surprised. I think Neymar has a chance as well with the players he has up front. But yeah, those two guys I'd say is up there.
Let me just say, like, choosing Neymar isn't that bad of an idea as well, though, because I don't know if Belgium will go as far as Brazil.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Well, and Neymar definitely has more to work with than De Bruyne does on Belgium.
Yeah.
Neymar definitely has a lot better players to work with and a lot more firepower to provide too.
Yeah.
And he definitely probably will be going farther than De Bruyne in the tournament. So I think, you know what? I'm gonna put Neymar.
Okay.
I'm gonna put Neymar. Yeah.
I also heard, I don't know if it's true, but I also heard that the manager might play him cam. He said earlier in this year or last season where his talent is wasted on the wing. So I think that gives him an option to put him as an attacking midfield. And I think you can do that with two defensive midfielders in Fabinho and Casemiro. And you know they're responsible defensively. So maybe you can cheat a little bit offensively with Neymar as cam. And then you got Vinicius and maybe Rodrigo on the wing. And you got Gabriel Jesus up top. I mean, that's a scary attack.
The team is so dirty. I'm so excited to watch Brazil. Like, I just want to see them. I just really want to see them play.
I hope it's not too much like skill where you can see like it kind of negates the other player. I hope it's not like that. I really hope they all bring out the best of each other. But yeah, like I'll be so excited to watch their team as well. Yeah. So for me, Neymar or De Bruyne, I'll go Neymar as well. Just like what you mentioned before, he's such a good team around him, and we'll probably go further than Belgium. Top scorer, who's your pick?
This is a hard one. It's a very hard one. If I'm not mistaken, Harry Kane got top scorer last World Cup.
Oh, I should probably look at that actually. Talk about it while I look at the last World Cup.
Yeah. So if I'm not mistaken, Harry Kane got it last World Cup. But like we talked about before, I don't know if England is gonna go that far this year. Let me just put it this way: if England make it past the quarterfinals, I say Harry Kane just because he's a goal machine.
Mm-hmm.
But if not Harry Kane, I'm gonna go with Gabriel Jesus.
Okay.
He's been and I know it's kind of surprising, but at the same time it's not, because look at how many goals he's scoring for Arsenal. Look at how good he's playing for Arsenal. He's been doing great. And you put him on a team that's even better than Arsenal, and I mean, 1 + 1 is 2. Obviously, he's gonna score more if he's on an even better team.
Yeah, I agree with that.
He has more chemistry with those players as well because they're all Brazilians. So, I think Gabriel Jesus is gonna have a great tournament. I think he's gonna score a lot of goals. I think he's gonna get top goal scorer.
Very good take there by you. You're right. Harry Kane did win the Golden Boot in the last World Cup with 6 goals. A couple runner-ups that like open up my eye for this year's winner. I look at Kylian Mbappe. I mean, he has some star players in PSG, and you know the other teams aren't as strong. Everyone knows it as a farmers league, but you know he still has a good team with him. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets it.
Can I tell you a very hot take?
Yeah, go ahead.
Olivier Giroud
will get more goals. Oh, for the whole thing. Wow. You know, it'll definitely be a hot take for everyone listening. But me and you, we watch him quite often. It's weird to say he doesn't stop scoring.
He doesn't. And you put him on a team, no disrespect to players on Milan. Like, Milan's been doing great, but, like, they don't have that player that provides as much assist as you would like.
He scores goals out of nothing.
Lacking. And Giroud is still scoring so much.
Yeah,
Put him on a team like France. it's scary. This guy is 35, if I'm not mistaken. He's so good. He's so good. Today he played against he played
Fiorentina.
pardon?
Fiorentina.
Yeah, he played against Fiorentina today. This guy almost scored a bicycle kick at 35 years old. He jumped up in the air without wasting a second. He looked like he was 20 years old. So good.
Yeah, that's a good little hot take from you, I think. Um, Other players, Lewandowski, he always scores goals. Another player on France, Benzema, recently won the Ballon d'Or, so well deserved, by the way. Um, Messi on Argentina, we know how hungry he is. There's a player I was gonna shout out and I forgot. That's okay. I was gonna agree with you with Gabriel Jesus too, but I don't know. It's so hard to pick all these. I'll go.
It's very hard.
It's so hard. There's so many good players. I'll go with. Oh, and I forgot to mention Serbia. They have Vlahovic and Mitrovic too, which those players like to score.
Yeah.
I'll go Messi.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's fair.
I look at their group. He can score goals. I don't know. He's just on a heater this year. We'll wait and see.
Okay, let's move on. Biggest underachievers.
Okay.
What do you think?
I touched on Group H before about Uruguay and how I think Korea will finish above them. Maybe one of the maybe they will be one of them. I think England is. It's so mean to say, but I feel like they're always a staple to be an underachiever. But it's not really their fault. They are who they are, but the English media just praised them so much. Not praised, but like they give them this pedestal where everyone is supposed to think that they're the Brazil or they're the France or you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's just I don't know. I feel like a lot of people will and won't be surprised if they underachieve. I'll say England as an underachiever.
I'm gonna put England as well, but in second, just a close second. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say Germany.
Okay.
Nothing against the Germans. Like they got a good team, but like recently we've been seeing they haven't been doing that good in friendly.
Yeah.
And I know it's just friendlies and Nations League and qualifiers and all that, but they haven't been doing that good. So I mean I think I put them on the same level as England right now. They're underachieving for sure in the last few years. So I'm gonna put Germany.
So you're saying they will make out the group, but you're saying like maybe they'll get knocked out early on, like in the first round or something.
Yeah, I think they'll get knocked out in like the round of 16, like right when they face a stronger team.
If they finish second in their group, they'll probably face Belgium. So maybe that's where they say goodbye. Yeah, that's a good little pick from you. Next up we got the dark horse, Nico. What do you think?
Dark horses.
You mentioned someone. Oh, you mentioned Denmark.
Denmark, yes. I'm gonna say Denmark is definitely a dark horse, but hear me out. What if I told you that the Netherlands might go really far this year?
How far are you saying?
I'm gonna say past the quarterfinals.
Oh wow. Okay. They did that in 2014.
The only reason why is because they have a lot of young players. A lot of young players that nobody's really keeping an eye on.
You think they got nothing to lose?
They got nothing to lose. They're coming in to the World Cup with an open mind. They have no pressure on their shoulders. Yeah, they want to do good, but like they're easily going to get through Group A. Let's just put it that way. They're not going to struggle in their group. You would hope. And then right when they get out to the round of 16, I mean, I don't think there's many teams that they can go up against and be like, okay, we have no chance.
Yeah.
Other than like Argentina and Brazil. But if you put them against any other team, and France maybe,
Yeah.
but against any other team, they're on an even playing field. So I think Netherlands are definitely a dark horse that a lot of people don't really realize.
That's actually a very smart pick because even if they so like let's say they finish first in their group B they have England, Iran, USA, Wales to worry about in the next round, and I think
Yeah,
that's very doable.
yeah.
So yeah, that's a good little pick from you. I think the last time they went to the semis was 2014 days. No, they got Robin and who else did they have? Van Persie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a fun little tournament, the Brazil World Cup. But yeah, it's been a while since they've. Well, I guess not a while. It's only been a couple competitions, but to see that, I think that'll be very interesting.
Yeah.
Dark horse for me, I don't know, man. I keep looking at this Serbia team, and I feel like they got something to prove. I keep mentioning Vlahovic and Mitrovic. Though they're two players who just love to score goals, born to score goals. Um, I don't know, man. I feel like they'll be competing for Golden Boot. I think in previous years, um, they haven't done that well. Do you remember if they've ever finished like outside the group, like advanced through the group?
I don't remember it off the top of my head, but I wouldn't be surprised if Serbia made it past their group. Um, Maybe not in like the last few World Cups, but
Right.
definitely at least once or twice. I feel like they've had strong teams in the past.
They also have Tadic, who's such a decent player. They also have Milinkovic Savic.
Oh yeah,
Oh no. Hold on a second. Oh
yeah,
my God, do they have
yeah,
brothers going to the World Cup?
yeah.
They're the goalkeeper on
Milinkovic.
Torino, and his name.
But I'm not. I'm not sure if they're brothers. But they have the same name.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, he's another player that's been lights out for Lazio, who should probably be on a better club. No offense, Lazio, but he's a player
Yeah.
that I totally forgot about. That's very good. They also have Jovic from Fiorentina. I think he
Well, they got.
won. He won the Europa League with Frankfurt, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's another
No,
good. Or was that someone else?
I'm not sure.
Hold on a sec.
But anyway,
I need to make sure I'm correct here. Yeah, he was. He was there.
okay, okay,
So yeah,
okay.
he won the Europa League with Frankfurt. I mean, they have decent players. I'll go with my dark horses. Them. I like the way their team looks. I think they'll go. I think they'll surprise people for sure.
That's really fair.
And then we
Very
got
fair.
the biggest prediction, Nico. We got the champions. I think we kind of touched on this, but who do you think?
Who's winning it all? In my opinion, I don't think anybody's gonna be able to stop Brazil this year.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah,
think Brazil are winning it all.
yeah. I really can't disagree with you. There's really not much to say. We've praised them so much throughout this episode. Um, I'll say this: if Brazil and Argentina get to the final, the both of them, that'll be a cracking final. Those guys hate each other. They played in the final in the Copa America when Messi got his first international trophy. I'd love to see that final. Um, yeah, the whole world will be watching that game. But I'll agree with you. I think Neymar's gonna get his first World Cup. Yeah, I mean it's really hard to stop Brazil. Like you said earlier in the episode, they're so good in every position. It's not even just Neymar in their attack. Fabinho, Casemiro, Thiago Silva's still good. They got Eder Militão. They even have Allison and Ederson in net. I mean, yeah, I don't see who can stop them. And if someone does stop them, fair play. But I feel like they're going all the way. So yeah, Brazil will be unstoppable. Next topic after our World Cup prediction. I hope everyone enjoyed that one. I know we did. We have a couple other things other than soccer to look at, or football, I should say. We have Formula One happened today, the Brazil Grand Prix. And after that, we got a couple boxing news. It's more celebrity boxing, but we have a couple of things to talk about that and other martial arts and things like that. But Nico, you want to go over the Formula One? I think maybe we can touch on the whole season. It's pretty much over. The Formula One season and things that happened today in the Brazilian Grand Prix. if you want to go ahead.
Yeah, so today we saw George Russell getting his first win, which was great for him, obviously. First win in Formula One. Big moment for any driver in Formula One getting his first win. He's definitely one for the future of that Mercedes team. And we also surprisingly saw Red Bull top four, or podium, should I say, out of the top three for the podium.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, as many see on our Instagram page, I usually post the top five because those are like because fifth place gets like 10 points and then it goes up. And yeah, like it's very shocking to see Red Bull struggling the way they did. But I mean, it's also good for Formula One fans to see.
Yeah, I agree.
Just because it's so one-sided this year. So yeah, it's nice to see. Another thing was, we heard talks of confusion / fighting between drivers.
I'd say arrogance.
Arrogance, yeah, that's a better term. We heard that Verstappen was arguing with his team and with his teammate Sergio Perez because he refused to let him go by, which was going against team orders.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're not sure what's going to come from that, but we definitely know that there's something going on that isn't ideal for the Red Bull team, specifically after all the success they've had this season. And, it's not nice going into the last race of the season in this way. I'm sure they wanted to end the season in better terms, but hopefully they can clear everything up and everything will be good with them.
Yeah.
But yeah, we saw George Russell coming first, Lewis Hamilton second, and Carlos Sainz third, so that completed the podium. What do you have to say about that?
I mean, I want to go back to that Verstappen moment. I think part of him, he's like one of the best talents in Formula One, but I think part of him winning the championship is and even last season, is all like big help to Perez. He's been a key part in that championship. I specifically think to last year when I think in the final race, I think as Verstappen went to pit, they left Perez out there to try and slow down Hamilton. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
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 And that helped Verstappen like win that championship, obviously, among other controversial things. But I think this whole situation tells you a lot about Verstappen. He's obviously such a good racer, but you see all the time he's such an aggressive racer. He doesn't really follow the rules, I guess. He's kind of a rebel. I mean, as you said, like ignoring team orders to let Perez pass. I mean, I think that's overdue to let Perez get the spotlight a bit. Been such a big help, and I that just tells you a lot about Verstappen. Yeah.
It's not like your team is gonna tell you to make him pass for no reason. Like there's certain reasons why your team wants your teammate to pass you. Maybe because he has better pace and he has a better chance at getting a higher position. Like let's say Verstappen let Sergio Perez pass him. Maybe they would have done collectively better than 6th and 7th.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're really affecting your whole team just because you want to be in front, and I don't think that's a good look on Verstappen. And I know a lot of people already don't agree with his tactics, and this doesn't help him at all.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't want to dwell too much on this.
Yeah.
But it's not a good look on the world champion.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens with that.
I agree there. Next topic here. Potential boxing matchups we have going on later this year or months to come. Obviously, Jake Paul is a big name in the celebrity boxing and boxing worlds. He came off that win against Anderson Silva by won by decision, which was a very good fight. I know, Nico, you like that fight too.
Yeah,
Um,
it was very entertaining, but many would say they expected, another opponent for Jake Paul.
yeah,
But let's get into that later on. Let's
yeah.
just talk about
But yeah,
upcoming.
so upcoming matchups, yeah, Jake Paul in the news there was a video where him and the very internetly famous, if that's a word, Andrew Tate. There was a video of them squaring up, well, not squaring up, but facing off, face to face. Nico, what do you think if that goes through? I think it might go through. Andrew Tate versus Jake Paul. What do you expect from that fight if it happens?
I mean, it's definitely entertaining. Like, you can't say that these guys aren't putting on a show for everybody. And I'm talking about, like, both Paul brothers. In recent years, they've been in the spotlight. Even Logan Paul, he's been in WWE.
Yeah.
And he's been, like, and it's crazy to think about, but, like, and I know people say, like, oh, it's scripted and stuff, but, like, just being in that environment, like, being a big name, and even another company like WWE, like one of the biggest fighting companies in the world, wrestling companies, should I say. It's crazy just to have your name out there. It really just shows how far these guys came. Like, they were doing Vines, then they started YouTube. Now one of them is, like, fighting the top, like, retired slash almost retired champion boxers slash UFC fighters, whatever you want to say that Jake Paul is fighting.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one is in WWE fighting for championships.
And
so,
Logan fought Mayweather, right?
Yeah. So, like, I mean, you can say whatever you want, but they're fighting these big guys and they're putting a big name out for themselves. So, whatever.
Yeah.
Let them do them. If they really want to prove themselves, they know what they need to do. Or let's just say Jake knows what he needs to do. He needs to fight, a well-proven boxer, young, and who can really give him a challenge and really show us what he can do.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, there's not much else to say. Like, we're not really going to get much from this fight.
Apart from entertainment.
Yeah. How Jake Paul can actually fight.
Yeah. I think that's where the big question marks are.
Yeah, like, if he wants to keep wasting his time on these guys who aren't going to prove anything for his career, then he can do that. Like, yeah, it's exciting for us to watch. But he can't beat these guys and then expect us to respect him and respect his boxing career. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What do you have to say on that?
I agree with you. I mean, obviously he's been winning these fights. He hasn't really fought in a true boxer. I know Tommy Fury has been, in the media about that. Jake Paul mentioned him a couple times, but I mean, all due respect to Anderson Silva. All due respect to Anderson Silva for sure. But he's not a professional. Well, he's boxed a few times before Jake Paul, but he's not a boxer. The UFC fighter. He's not able to do his kicks that he's known for.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a legendary name, but he's also, how old is he? 50? Touching that?
If he's not, then he's almost there.
Yeah, he's 47 years old, so he's touching 50, fighting against Jake Paul, who's in his 20s. I don't know. Like, I totally agree with you said. He hasn't fought like a true boxer where he earns the respect. He keeps winning, but yeah, I agree with everything what you said there. About the Andrew Tate, I think that'll be a very entertaining fight for the names that they have. Andrew Tate, Logan, Jake Paul. But yeah, I haven't seen Andrew Tate fight. I know sometimes he does those boxing workouts like a lot of people. He's obviously very fit. I think he has a long reach, but yeah, another person that hasn't boxed professionally. We'll see how that goes.
But yeah, overall, I think that's everything. We covered everything. Yeah, like, mainly in our podcast, we're gonna be focusing a lot on football. Yeah, but we also like to dab into into the world of F1 and boxing and celebrity boxing. And maybe in the future we can even get into a bit of UFC if that's what the fans like. So just on our Instagram at the Rookies Podcast. Just let us know what you like to see. We're gonna be putting polls up. We're gonna be seeing what the audience wants to hear from us.
Yeah.
And the type of content that you guys want from us. So just we really want to know what you guys think going forward. We know that we're still learning how to do this, so it's a learning process, but we'll get there.
Yeah, hence the name Rookies Podcast.
Yeah, but we're always gonna be rookies though, even if we're like 20 years down the road and we're famous and we're big on YouTube, and we're still gonna be known as the Rookies.
Yeah, no doubt. Definitely get involved, everyone. Comments to this video. Well, not video, but this audio will be up on YouTube. Comment there. Comment on our Instagram. Let us know what you guys like. Let us know your opinion. We'd love to talk about that. We'll love to get some of you on the show as well.
Yeah, so we're just going to be bringing other people on as well to spice things up and make things very interesting, depending on obviously the topic that we're going to be talking about. And yeah, we have a lot of plans for the future, and obviously we know that right now we're going to be posting this audio to YouTube, and it doesn't have a video connected to it. But as we start posting more episodes and get more comfortable with everything and how everything works, and obviously start getting a bigger audience, then we can start doing things a bit more well done and start recording and really show off what we can do.
Yeah.
But for now, like we're two college students. We're really busy. We're just trying to do the best with what we have right now.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we definitely got big plans for the future.
Yeah, stay tuned for sure. More football content, more Formula 1, boxing, NHL, NBA, all that stuff. We'll give it to you guys. We'll do our best to get content out there for your listeners. That's the first episode of the Rookies Podcast. We'll go down in history, Nico. Thank you guys for listening. Nico, you have anything to say before we drop it off?
No, just thanks for listening to us. Honestly, it means a lot. And just stick around. I promise it'll get better. And if you already like it, then just keep coming around, I guess.
No doubt. All right, everyone. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.